Coming up in the morning edition, the status of Bahamian workers still a concern at the Point Hotel. How is the backlog of cases being dealt with in the legal system? And the Minister of Health expected to testify in a high-profile case today. It's expected to be bumper-to-bumper traffic on our streets. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Road rage could be picking up on our streets this morning. Traffic police are encouraging motorists to drive with extreme caution and adhere to the rules of the road as they will be out in full force. Sieska Adderley is on our streets. Good morning.
Good Wednesday morning, one and all. We are coming to you live from East Street, one of the busiest thoroughfares in the capital, so no doubt with school back, traffic is already building up, as you probably are able to see behind me. And here to tell us how it's been going, because it's now the third day into the 2018-2019 Corey Barr from the Traffic Division. Good morning, Corporal Barr. How are you this morning?
I'm good, Sieska. Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
Good. Now it's 3 days.
Well, so far for the school year, the back-to-school traffic, we had no major issues. That means that some persons were listening and they're putting into effect what we've been saying. So with that, we just want to encourage road users to continue to pay attention onto what's happening. Continue to drive within the speed limits. Continue to wear your seatbelt. Don't drive while doing other things, using your motor phone, whatever it may be. Once you do these things, we should have a continuous, smooth commute.
Okay, now you guys also recently launched some new equipment. Has that been helping in maintaining a decent flow of traffic every morning?
Well, I guess with the social media, persons have been seeing what we were doing with this new equipment. A lot of them, I guess, a bit afraid to be caught in that. So persons have been slowing down a bit, but we still doing a number of speed checks to enforce the rules of the road, and also with guarantee to enforce the public safety.
Okay, now what is also being done to ensure that traffic is maintained and there's orderly flow?
Well, to ensure that we have a number of motorcyclists out on the streets every morning, doing traffic management, also enforcing the rules of the road. We also have other officers from other divisions who are assisting in this effort.
Okay, now is there anything else you want to let the general public know to ensure that their Wednesday morning commute is as easy and as smooth as possible?
If you're leaving home by now, you're late. Again, try to leave things would assist in a smooth drive.
All right, thank you so much. That was Corporal Decore Barr. Always a good time chatting with my friends from the Traffic Division, giving you tips on how to ensure that your commute is smooth. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Sieska. And today expect temperatures to be partly sunny with a few brief passing showers. For a look on weather conditions on the outside, here's Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. A beautiful morning around the islands weather-wise, as the weather associated with God has now moved out of the area. As you can see on our satellite picture, near clear skies everywhere. Outside of our studios, we have a temperature of 81 degrees with near clear skies. Your winds are out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Relative humidity 78%. The barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars. That's 30.00 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 80 degrees in Green Atoll Key, also Freeport, Grand Bahama at 80, 82 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, the Berry Islands, Kansas City, Bimini, 83 degrees as we take you into Eleuthera, Harbor Island, 82, 82 in Rock Sound. Here in the capital, we told you 81. Fresh Creek, Central Andrews, 82. Kemp's Bay and South Andrews at 81 degrees. Staniel Key in the Exumas also at 81. Artistown, Cat Island, another 81 there. More 81s in San Salvador and Rum Key, Crooked Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Ragged Island. Ackland's 80 degrees. Betsy Bay, Maguana, another 80. Also Matthewtown and Agua at 80. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 81 degrees. Your boating forecasts are for today in the northwest and central islands. Easterly winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. windy with a moderate chop in place. The low tide will take place this morning at 9:11. High tide somewhere around 3:41 this afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, the winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks, Basil. In national news, the hiring of foreign workers where Bahamians are skilled to do the job at the Point Hotel has been an issue for members of the Bahamas Contractors Association. While it seems that issue may soon be rectified, Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Folk, says about a month ago his team received several reports from the management of the Point about a 100% increase in the Bahamian workforce at that multi-million-dollar property.
One from our investigators that showed an increase in the Bahamian composition of workers at the Point. And we also received a report from the management at the Point that showed a much larger increase of Bahamian workers. I spoke to the key persons there, and we have agreed to do a joint exercise, which we did yesterday morning. Mr. Pinder, the Director of Labor, personally went on site along with a group of investigators to ascertain exactly what the facts are.
Additionally, the Labor Minister says he is concerned about reports that employees at the Point are reportedly being reclassified to fill other positions.
We want to make sure that non-Bahamians who are at the site are only doing jobs that Bahamians are not qualified to do or not available to do. And that is why the Director of Labor went yesterday morning. I do not want to preempt his report, but it was a personal visit that he made.
In the legal sector, attempts are underway to address the backlog of cases in the judicial system. Attorney General Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel says while pending cases are on the decline, there still remains a number of outstanding matters. However, he says the Bahamas stands out as a jurisdiction known for its timely legal hearings.
Certainly on the civil side, there tends to be a greater, delay in terms of being able to schedule and obtain dates. But on the criminal side, the Bahamas is a leader in the region in terms of the speed with which criminal matters are dealt with. The average wait period is no more than 2 years. In major countries in the Caribbean region, you're waiting 10 years for a trial. And you're waiting that 10 years for trial in jail. But we have a very, responsive and constitutional approach towards these matters. And no person could be held in jail for those sorts of periods, 10 years, lawfully, awaiting trial.
The Attorney General also revealed additional upgrades in the court system that will impact the speed of court matters.
One of the things that we are seeking to do in this year is to complete the renovations of 2 courts, which will, certainly one of them, will be a criminal court that will allow for the further reduction of the backlog in terms of cases, and also to bring focus to sexual violence crimes. The court on the eastern side, ground floor of the old Supreme Court building, will be made into a new civil court, and hopefully that may, if we can juggle around some persons, create yet another criminal court, a court that is able to also address the backlog cases.
Also this morning, the Cabinet Office announcing that a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice, the late Stephen Isaacs, this Friday, September 7th, at Christ Church Cathedral beginning at 11 a.m. His body will lie in state in the Supreme Court for a public viewing from noon Thursday until funeral time. The Cabinet Office further advises that the Bahamas will be in a state of mourning tomorrow until after the state funeral. All national flags will be flown at half-staff during this period. Also, to mark the passing of the late Chief Justice, the Supreme Court will close at 1 o'clock today and the Magistrates Court at 3 p.m. today and 1 o'clock tomorrow. All courts will be closed on Friday. Meantime, the bribery and extortion trial of former chairman of the Public Hospitals Authority, Frank Smith, resumes in court this morning. Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, is expected to take the witness stand today. Yesterday, the court heard from two witnesses, including the legal advisor at the authority, Leslie Isaacs, who is also the secretary of the board. Her testimony centered around the awarding of a contract to Magic Touch Cleaning for $1.8 million. Isaacs was also questioned on the tenders process, the committee's evaluations of bidders, and assessments. And still to come, principals from several schools sharing their academic plans for the new school year. That story and more when the Morning Edition comes right back.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
We live in a hurricane zone, so safety, security, and protection of our homes and businesses is very important. That's why We Buy, You Sell, the Hurricane Impact Window and Door Specialists, offers 100% fully laminated hurricane impact windows and doors designed to withstand all category storms. Our prices are 30 to 50% lower than our competitors. We also sell porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. Visit our showroom and let our trained, certified staff cater to your needs. We Buy, You Sell, located number 163 Robinson Road in the old Hasties building. Call 324-6427 or 698-1141. Don't get blown away this hurricane season. Visit us today.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. With schools across the country now back in session, administrators at two local public schools are viewing the new academic year as a time to start fresh and propel students to even higher heights. Cleopatra Murphy reports.
Despite a more than 8% decline nationally in the number of students passing BGCSEs with 5 or more subjects, principal of CV Bethel High School, Princess Fox, was pleased when students returned to school on Monday that their national exams had improved. In fact, Fox says one female student had a stellar performance.
We had 5 students that did very well in the BGCSEs. One particular student is our top performer in the government school. Her name is Janaya Joseph. She received 7 A's, 1 B, and 2 C's. And a number of those A's were in one of the difficult subjects like chemistry and economics.
As students at CV Bethel and other schools across the country start a new academic year, Fox says school officials are focused on improving academic performance and have special plans for students who performed well in the BGCSEs.
A number of our 11th graders would have taken 5 or more BGCSEs, and they would have done very well as well. And this year we plan to give them advanced placement as well as dual enrollment. During the time that they would have had like those classes that they would have excelled in at BGCSE, they would be at BTVI preparing themselves for college level.
CV Bethel is not the only school renewing its academic thrust. Senior Master of Anatole Rogers Senior High School, Clive Stewart, says the institution will continue to produce quality students.
We want to make sure that our new students coming in grade 7 understand what we expect from them and follow the rules, and at the end of the day they will be successful. You know, like this year we had 50 students going off to university and colleges, and we want to maintain and surpass that.
Stewart says as school officials work to ensure student success, parents too must be on board.
We make sure that parents are in attendance to our PTA and get involved in the school. Parents are always welcome to come to the school and speak about their students' progress and success.
The senior master says he has high hopes for this academic year, adding that it is not just about preparing students for exams, but about building the country. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
The first day of class also started off with a bang for students and faculty at the Centerville Primary School. New Principal Shianda Maycock telling ZNS News that there are some 50 new students attending the primary school this year. With a new preschool unit, Maycock says she expects better grades and is optimistic that several new initiatives will be the engine to fuel that goal this time around.
We do have some things we're going to try. We have a new literacy person on site, and she is filled with new ideas. In the technology department, we are trying new initiatives, and each teacher is going to have action research. Try something different in your class and see how it works. So we're ready.
We also caught up with parent Janet London and her son Peter London, who is struggling with a learning disability. However, they revealed to ZNS News that after moving from Canada to the Bahamas several months ago and enrolling into the public school system, Peter has improved academically.
I'm excited about seeing all my old friends from last year. And also, I'm excited to see my old teacher.
And what are some of the areas you want to improve on this year?
Reading, writing, and spelling.
Why?
Because I kind of have dyslexia, and dyslexia is an issue in Canada, but here it's not very common.
For testing quite a while ago, and I found since he came here, his teacher really worked with him to find a way to help him recognize different words. So his spelling has dramatically improved, his reading and writing has dramatically improved just since he's been here. So he's doing, like I said, he's doing exceptionally well.
And also from overnight, the president of Rotary International and founding member of the Rotary Club of New Providence, Dr. Barry Rassin, returned to his old club during a short visit home on Tuesday night. Rassin, who assumed his role as president on July 1st, has had a busy travel schedule but was on hand as the club welcomed 3 new members into the organization in an induction ceremony. Members from other clubs were also present for an address from Rassin, who says he hopes to leave his mark during his tenure.
It's an incredible experience to have an opportunity to go to other countries of the world and spend time meeting Rotarians, seeing the projects they do, seeing the change they're making that's making our world a better place. So it truly is very inspiring for me. I'm talking a lot about change. I'm talking a lot about the need to increase our gender diversity. Right now we're only 22% female. We need to increase that number. There's a lot of good women out there who should be a part of Rotary. So we're really opening the door to make sure that can happen. We're also working very hard as one of the top priorities to bring young professionals engaged in what Rotary does. They really want to do service. We need to change some of our old traditions so we're more relevant to the younger people.
Rotary Club of New Providence President Valentino Hamilton says Rotary's most important priority is to recruit new young members who can bring new ideas. He says the evening was special because the club was able to host Rassin.
Barry Rassin is the first ever Bahamian president of Rotary International and also the first president from our district, which is District 7020, which is comprised of several countries in the Caribbean. So tonight was very historic to see President Rassin take time from his busy travel from all over the world to come back home to the Bahamas, to Rotary Club of New Providence, a club that he helped chart in 1988. And so his theme is Be the Inspiration, and we certainly were inspired by Rotary International President Rassin's presentation tonight.
So I guess, Fisher, we need to consider joining the Rotary Club, eh?
I was in the Key Club at high school, but I didn't follow through after that. And since this week I started, I feel like I was back in high school. I found somebody had their uniform on Monday. I felt younger. Every day.
I think we have to thank Carey's Uniform Center on Mackey Street for that.
Well, coming up in sports today, Mother Nature eased up a bit last night to allow some softball to go on. And we also have a young man in studio today. Not so young, but he's looking young, a former boxer.
Thanks a lot, Fisher. That and more ahead in sports.
We are their mentor. And when we live long enough to see them succeed, then we know that we have done a great thing, because that's what we're here for.
Once we get to the kids and we can get Jesus in their heart, then if only we affect one child, that child goes to school in the neighborhood where they might have at least 30 children in the class, and time they spread that good joy, that would be tremendous.
My teacher say I have hate my heart. that I am no good, that I like to fight too much. Who does she think put it there? In my house? If you question Daddy, you get a black eye. In my house, a fist is power.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
Hey, I'm Megan Shepard, a reporter here at the ZNS Northern Service. Did you know that ZNS is right at your fingertips when you download the new ZNS app? Miss something in our newscast? That's okay. Simply pull up the app, swipe, and you'll find all of our news headlines and highlights. So what are you waiting for? Download the new ZNS app today.
It's that time for sports. Good morning once again. Mother Nature, I guess, wanted to watch some softball, easing up a bit to allow the New Providence Softball Association to get in 2 games last night at the Bankers Field. The Commando Security Truckers completed the sweep of the BTC Warriors with a 7-3 win and now await the winner of the CNS Hitmen Chances Mighty Mid Series. Hitmen up 1-0 in that series, and game 2 is tonight. In the ladies' game, the BTC Lady Warriors jumped out early on the Sunshine All Wildcats by as many as 8, only to see the Wildcats claw their way back into the ball game, scoring in bunches in the 5th and 6th inning, and go on to take Game 3 13-7. Well, after losing Game 1, the Wildcats now up 2-1 in this series. Winning pitcher Taylor Johnson says it's over. Losing pitcher Ashanti Dawud says no.
The first couple of innings, we gave up 4 runs in the first inning, but we came back, scored 2. I told the ladies, you know, this is just the first inning, but we got to make those bats up. You know, I had to finish strong, even though in the 6th inning was kind of sluggish, but still came out on top.
We let them gain runs too much. We had a certain point where we were tied, and we should have brought in the relieving pitcher at that moment. We didn't. We let them score 4 more runs than us, and that really killed us.
2 games tonight. Proper Care Pool Lady Sharks will play first against the Johnson Lady Truckers. Sharks up 1-0, followed by the Chances Mighty Mets and CNS Hitmen. Meantime, our senior men's national soccer team, they leave today for Belize as they get ready for the newly formed Nations League. The tournament will consist of 41 countries divided into 3 different leagues, with a champion to be crowned at the end of each edition. The tournament will also determine which teams qualify for the CONCACAF Gold Cup and will feature promotion and regulation between the leagues. Players Dwayne Bennaby, Chris Raming, and Valen Bodie, they are ready to kick it.
For the team, I'd say they're very medium to high, given the fact that we have a lot of good talent on our team, especially coming from younger players as well as a few seasoned veterans. So I think we'll give a great representation here in Belize on Friday.
I'm really excited for this Nations League, not because it'll help me develop, it'll help our country develop as a whole, not just for this team, but for the younger players under me that will be coming up to play with us soon. It'll help the nation develop as a whole so that we could hopefully soon become a footballing nation.
Going into this competition is literally, to me, a dream come true, because I've been training and waiting literally for this opportunity for quite some time now. I've always been, the 2nd string, 3rd string, always been playing behind people. So to actually get the opportunity to be at the forefront and actually get an opportunity to represent my country is just unspeakable or unexplainable.
Wishing them the best of luck. I wanted to see if he's still on it. Joining us in studio this morning is the Thriller Minute Man, Quincy Pratt. Boy, Quincy, you're still looking shape, but you've been up to what?
There's a whole lot of stuff, man. Let's keep it in shape, Been married now for the past 18 years, and let's do my thing, put on some weight, and living a good life.
Boy, I remember those days with you and Ray Minus Jr. You think if I put that fight on again, you guys will be able to attract those crowds that we used to have?
Oh, yes, man. People that love boxing, I'm still the most exciting fighter in the Bahamas. Since I've been off the scene, boxing has derailed a whole lot. So all these guys like Misha Major Payne, they hide in my shadows. I'm still the Minute Man.
Well, one thing about you, Quincy, you knew how to throw a punch, but that mouth of yours, like they say with mine, that was really, really, really good.
Well, it was a gift of God. I was blessed with that. And it's still Thriller time.
Thriller time, Thriller Quincy Willie Pratt. You're working out with the amateur fighters. How is that going on as well?
Very good. I think the amateur boxing is very good for the country, and in fact, it could discipline most of these young guys on the streets. and I'm the Executive Director of the Amateur Boxing Federation. I'm looking forward to working with our new president, Mr. Winston Strawn. And I'm looking to bring amateur boxing back it was back in the 80s when I first got started.
Quite an interesting story. Most people do not know your story. You started off when you were 16. Boys Industrial School was just a child that just needed to do something to vet it out.
Well, I was heading in the wrong path, and you know, I came to a boys' school at the age of 16, and boxing took me around the world. And I'm here today because of that sport. I've been around. I've rubbed shoulders with many stars around the world, and it saved my life. It saved my life.
Okay, so what's ahead for you? You think, I know a lot of boxers after a year they decide that they want to come back. Is that in Quincy Pratt's plan?
No. Right now I'm giving my rest of my time to amateur boxing. I'm working with new presidents. I'm trying to get amateur boxing in all the urban development, and I'm very trying to get to have a school program together.
I don't want people to think that me and Quincy are wearing those extra small shirts this morning. That's just our biceps we've been working out. And Quincy, boy, I have this gray. I have to ask you this, and every time I see you, I have this gray. You're older than me. What's going on? This bad sister to be wearing black shoe polish. What?
No, well, it's the magic, and I got it hide under the dilly tree in Fox Hill. And my wife been trying to find this for years. She's like, Quincy, ask your age, baby. I'm still young, so I have the pudding under the dilly tree in Fox Hill. She just got to find the right dilly tree.
Thanks a lot, Quincy. Thriller Minute Pratt Boy. It's always been a pleasure talking with you and Ray Boy. Wish I could have go back in those days when you two fought. Those were some of the most exciting coverage I've ever seen. Man, the gym was full. People used to come out. I miss those days of boxing, man.
They were the good days. They were the good days. When boxing was on top of the land and people enjoyed it. It was thrilling time, man. I bring the motion, I bring the action, and let's get ready to rumble.
There was a famous quote you used to say. I can't remember. What was that?
It's thrilling time!
And that's my time.
For the latest news and highlights in Bahamian culture, tune in to the new Junkanoo 242, Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the ZNS Radio and Television Network. Radio Bahamas 1540 a.m. on 104.5 FM and TV 13. Each week, hosts Arlene Nash Ferguson, Eric Hall, and Darren Bastian engages listeners with some of the movers and shakers of Junkanoo and Bahamian culture. Don't miss Junkanoo 242, Saturday at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the ZNS Radio and Television Network.
Was it my fault? Did I dress too suggestive? I just wanted to talk. I was not ready. I said no. I can't tell my mommy this. She'll say it's all my fault. My daddy will beat me for sure. I have no one to talk to.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
In our final look at weather, a very busy tropics again this morning. We have a strong tropical wave near the Cape Verde Islands, and that right now has about a 40% chance of development, but over time, at least over the next 5 days, that will increase to about 90%, so we could have a named storm sometime over the weekend shaping up just near the Cape Verde Islands. And then there is Hurricane Florence, which is now up to a Category 2 packet winds of 105 miles per hour as it moves towards the northwest over the central Atlantic. But we anticipate that Florence will undergo some fluctuation in intensity over the next few days heading into the weekend. And then Gordon has now moved inland, moving further inland. It's now a tropical storm with winds just around 40 miles per hour, and we expect Gordon to weaken to a tropical depression later on this morning, but heavy rains will continue to occur right into tomorrow. Satellite pictures are showing all of the weather associated with Gordon is now clearing out of the Bahamas, leaving behind near clear skies, but we'll still have some sporty showers over the central and southeastern Bahamas later on today. Our forecast calls for a bit more clouds and sunshine with a few showers remaining in the forecast. High temperature today around 87 degrees. And then tonight, a passing shower or two, very likely, with your low temperature getting down to 76 degrees. And the extended weather forecast, a few showers right into Friday, and as we're promising you all week long, the weekend is looking pretty much okay with just a little odd isolated shower popping up on Saturday and Sunday. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that does it for the morning edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. See you right back here tomorrow morning.